change. As a wise man once said, we could all use a little change. YouTube brought a lot of change. Changed media, changed celebrities, and made sure you never had another original thought in your life. And in 2008, for the first time, it changed history. In what some call the YouTube election, this stupid little website changed the course of America and probably ruined politics forever. But how? But why? But Boone, aren't you skipping over the 2004 election? Yes, I am. But first, we have to start at the start of the end of the Bush administration. It's 2007 and everybody hates George Bush. While W once had the highest approval rating ever after clearing out the New York City skyline, those days were gone. His war in Iraq was very unpopular. He hadn't won in Afghanistan. His response to Hurricane Katrina was, as the French say, no bueno, and in a few short months the entire economy would collapse. The 2008 presidential elections were right around the corner, and 80% of voters thought that the country was on the wrong track. The only time 80% of Americans will agree on anything is when they're agreeing that things suck. It seemed the coming election would be an easy Democrat victory, and Republicans knew it. Their only chance at keeping a Republican as president was to nominate someone who wasn't loyal to Republicans, who had actively spoken out against Bush. But turns out pissing off your own party is a great way to not get reelected, so no Republicans really did. Except for one. They turned to the man who forged his own path. The man who wasn't afraid to disagree. The man they had rejected in 2000. They turned to the maverick, John McCain. John McCain III was son of Naval Commander John McCain Jr., who was son of Naval Commander John McCain Sr. So can you guess what he ended up being? As a naval commander and aviator during the Vietnam War, he, of course, went on Jeopardy and won, and then was shot down by the North Vietnamese. He would spend the next 5 years in a prison camp, refusing special treatment and being tortured by his captors. When he was finally released, he was a war hero and rode that success to the Senate. He was almost ousted in '91 when he got into a financial scandal with an astronaut, but he remained a prominent force in politics. McCain was known as the Maverick and built a reputation of not taking orders from anyone. This led him to become a strong contender for president in 2000. Now, I already made a whole video about that, so go watch it to see how that turned out. Really bad. But he was back and ready to rumble. Though there was some competition, from the beginning, it was pretty clear McCain would be the nominee. He wasn't a part of the Bush administration, often criticizing him, and promised change, making him appealing to independents. And frankly, he was the only Republican who stood an elephant's chance in hell. For them, the choice was easy, but for Democrats, the choice was historic. Barack Obama was born in Hawaii in 1961. He was raised by a single mother and his grandparents in Indonesia and Hawaii before going on to attend Columbia University. After graduating, he went to Chicago's poor South Side to become a community organizer and gained a law degree from Harvard. In '96, he was elected to the Illinois Senate, and in 2004, the U.S. Senate. That same year, the young, fresh face would deliver the keynote address at the Democrat National Convention, a speech so good that it shot him to national stardom.
We have a righteous wind at our backs, and that as we stand on the crossroads of history, we can make the right choices and meet the challenges that face us.
His books became bestsellers. He was gaining international recognition and was already winning the hearts and minds of Americans across the country. So in February of 2007, in front of the old State House in Illinois, where Abe Lincoln once gave his famous House Divided speech, Obama announced his run for president. Yet, unlike McCain, he was a heavy underdog. Senator Hillary Clinton was the clear favorite, with many other big names in the race. Even our old pal Al Gore was being considered.
Who?
And I mean, come on, the dude hadn't even finished his first term as senator, and now he thought he could be president? Get real. Many prominent Democrats didn't think Obama stood a chance, but the internet did. Obama was notably tech-savvy and saw the potential that the growing internet could provide. He was able to build a massive online grassroots organization of donors and volunteers in a way that nobody had really done before. Obama focused on the new age, on young voters, and embraced this new way of online campaigning. He was sort of the first Mr. Beast, if you think about it. Soon, he matched Clinton's fundraising and won a surprise victory at the Iowa caucuses. Obama shot up to become one of the frontrunners, but after Hillary's victory in New Hampshire, it was clear this would be no easy fight. The two went back and forth, trading states for months, facing each other in 6 debates, and things got snippy.
You talked about Ronald Reagan being a transformative political leader. I did not mention his name.
Your husband did.
Well, I'm here. He's not.
Okay, well, I can't tell who I'm running against sometimes.
Both were trying to become historic firsts, and even after Super Tuesday, the winner wasn't clear. Yet, while Clinton ran on experience, Obama ran on change. And in the end, that's what people wanted. After a long fight, Obama would win the nomination. Finally, it was settled. The heavyweight matchup would be Obama versus McCain, and the race was on. If there's one thing to remember about this election, it's the word change. Everyone wanted it, so both candidates needed to prove that they could bring it. Obama, of course, was full of change. Apart from the obvious, he represented a change from the Republican Party. Obama proposed major healthcare reform, new economic policies with the environment and energy, and increasing taxes on the super wealthy while cutting them for people with lower income. Obama had been opposed to the Iraq War since the beginning, and he promised to end it. In fact, he claimed that he could remove all troops in just 16 months. Of course, this was just so he could redeploy them to the other war, but it's the 2000s, alright? There's gonna be a war. And when he said it, people believed him, because Obama could tell it like no other. The guy was a great talker with a striking charisma. People compared him to Kennedy.
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
His message resonated with young and minority voters who were the backbone of his online volunteer campaigns. Obama saw the potential for YouTube to reach a massive audience for free, uploading 1,800 videos over the course of his campaign, far more than McCain. And before long, people were making videos for him, with videos mentioning Obama getting close to 2 billion views total. And this was in 2008, alright? You'd be lucky to get 100,000 views on anything. YouTube made the campaign feel personal, like you were along for the ride, which allowed Obama to spread his message like never before. Yet, he still couldn't pull away from McCain. McCain also offered change, but in very Republican fashion, not too much change, let's not be ridiculous here. McCain supported the Iraq War, but was very critical of how the Bush administration handled it. He called them out on certain interrogation methods that definitely wasn't torture. Yet he insisted that they needed to win the war, saying that he'd be willing to keep troops there 100 years if he had to. He claimed that if they left before they won, like Obama wanted, it would be disastrous for the Iraqi people. And he was totally right. McCain argued that he was the only one who could end the two-sided bickering of Washington. He also promised healthcare reform, along with school choice, securing the border, and stopping the wealthy from controlling Washington. But there were two major problems that caused the McCain campaign some disdain. He was also looking to make history as the oldest person ever elected at the time. While energetic for his age, he was nearly 72, and polls showed that half of voters would be less likely to vote for someone in their 70s. McCain argued this gave him experience, something Obama sorely lacked. But he knew he needed something to reassure voters, or rather, someone. For vice president, McCain picked Alaska Governor Sarah Palin, a new, fresh face that would be the first ever female VP. Though this kinda undercut his whole Obama's inexperienced thing, it was a popular pick. He also went on Saturday Night Live. A lot. Like even before he was running for some reason. This showed off his funny, more relatable side, not being afraid to poke fun at himself.
I'm just kidding.
And Tina Fey's portrayal of Palin might be the greatest casting of anything ever. Like, I genuinely couldn't tell if these were the same people or not. I still can't. Palin gave him a small lead in the polls, but there was still problem number 2. W. George Bush was an unpopular Republican, and maverick as he may, McCain was still associated with him. This put him between a rock and a hard place. McCain needed to distance himself from Bush to win voters, but if he did, he risked losing some of his Republican voters. A problem that Obama was more than happy to exploit. Obama tried to show that McCain wasn't as maverick as he claimed. Almost all of Obama's attack ads linked McCain with Bush, emphasizing that he voted with Bush 90% of the time, often showing them embracing and like kissing and making out. Okay, not that last part. He tied McCain's old age to old ideas and claimed that he was too erratic. Obama made it clear that he was the change, not McCain, and people believed it. The dude was a superstar. Oprah endorsed him, the first time she'd endorsed anyone. will.i.am made the song Yes We Can based on one of his speeches, featuring stars like John Legend and Scarlett Johansson, who sings, I guess. The YouTube video Crush on Obama, about a girl who wants to get Obama into her Oval Office, went viral before viral was even really a thing. The internet was turning Obama from a political candidate into a movement. McCain, on the other hand, tried to use this against him. He attempted to spin Obama's youth and confidence as inexperienced and careless. That while Obama could talk all good, his speeches had little substance, and voters didn't know enough about him. He argued that Obama was too radical and compared his stardom to Britney Spears, which probably just made him look cooler, honestly. Due to the internet, ads on both sides were noticeably more aggressive than ever before. The internet had caused a shift where being bold and funny to get a 10-second viral clip was extremely important. Some things never change. McCain was noticeably behind the times, disliking email and calling himself computer illiterate. But he still tried, and to be fair, neither of them had it figured out yet. These dudes were posting cringe on Maine, like this Obama ad that looks like a terrible YouTube tutorial, music and all. And McCain had this weird James Bond parody that looks like they're announcing Obama for Smash Bros with hilariously blown out audio.
I think John McCain's proposal for
But Obama had another major advantage, his fundraising. Over the course of his campaign, Obama would have more than 3 million donors, giving him a massive leg up in battleground states. Worse yet for McCain, Sarah Palin had become a Sarah Palin. That doesn't work. During TV interviews, she made a few goofs and didn't seem to know much about certain policies.
A comment like that was kind of made to, I don't know, you know.
Meanwhile, Obama's VP pick was Joe Biden. And I ain't talking this Joe Biden, I'm talking this Joe Biden, an established senator that helped ease fears of Obama's inexperience. The script had flipped. People now wondered if McCain's campaign was qualified, not Obama's. Obama was on a roll, but he had problems of his own. Believe it or not, Obama had to deal with a lot of slander and personal attacks during his campaign. Wonder why. Despite being a practicing Christian, mass disinfo led many to believe that he was an Arab Muslim. A conspiracy theory spread that Obama wasn't born in the US, causing many to demand his birth certificate. And the strangest part of that rumor was that it wasn't started by the right, but by Clinton supporters. Many of Hillary's supporters were still butthurt that she wasn't the candidate, with polls showing that 28% of them may now vote for McCain. His relationship with former communist bomber William Ayres was questioned, who was just living down the road from Obama, I guess. Videos of Obama's pastor surfaced, where he claimed that HIV was invented by the government to take out all minorities and that the US was responsible for 9/11.
Republicans tried linking Obama with 10-year-old domestic terrorist Huey Freeman after discovering the two were MySpace friends.
Yet someone who refused to fuel these fires was shockingly McCain himself. Though he did bring up Ayres, he refused to bring up any of these other issues. In fact, in something we will never see again in the history of presidential campaigns, McCain defended Obama.
I can't trust Obama. He's an Arab. He is not.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. He's a decent family man, citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with.
McCain knew what it was like to be on the opposite end of racist slander, and he refused to take part. Say what you will about John McCain, but he was no racist, and unlike most politicians, had a spine. As the race went on, McCain held a small lead. That was until the economy fully tanked that September, truly starting the Great Recession. Would you look at that? I have a video on that too. The entire focus of the campaign became the economy, where Obama had the edge. That month alone, he raised $150 million. McCain knew he needed to make a bold move to get his lead back. So 2 days before the first debate, McCain announced that he was suspending his campaign to return to Washington to pass relief measures. He surely hoped that this bold move would be seen as an act of leadership and putting people first. Instead, Obama turned it against him, saying that the people needed to hear what they had to say. The president would need to handle more than than one thing at a time, after all, and the people seemed to agree. The move was instead seen as off-putting and erratic, so McCain gave in and decided to attend the first debate, which he would decisively lose. Obama was now easily in the lead. The next debate would be a town hall style, something McCain was known for. Yet polls show that he lost again, looking old compared to the energetic Obama. It was coming down to the wire. Obama had the lead, victory in 2 debates, a far superior supporter base, and left no doubt that he could handle the presidency. It was down to the final debate. McCain knew that to save his campaign, he needed to have the greatest debate of his life. And damn it, he did. He went after Obama, attacking his economic plans, painting him as a radical socialist, appealing to the common worker. In his moment of need, it was the greatest debate McCain had ever had. And he still lost. Despite it all, Obama still came out on top, winning the debate. The writing was on the wall. 2 days before the election, McCain went on SNL one more time, but you could kinda tell he knew it was over.
I thought I might try a strategy called the sad grandpa. That's where I get on TV and go, come on, Obama's gonna have plenty of chances to be president. It's my turn.
These campaigns sure are expensive.
They sure are.
Election day saw the highest voter turnout in 4 decades, mostly spurred on by new, young, and minority voters. And they proved to be the deciding factor. Obama would receive 365 electoral votes, with 53% of the popular vote, compared to McCain's 45. Obama managed to flip 5 states from the previous election, even gaining 45% of the vote in Arizona, McCain's home state. Ouch. During his concession speech, McCain recognized the monumental moment Obama's election represented for minorities and America as a whole. Obama also thanked McCain, promising to be a president for all. He told his supporters that his election was proof that in America, anything was possible for anyone. He proved that times were changing and that things could change.
We have never been just a collection of individuals or a collection of red states and blue states. We are and always will be the United States of America.
So, did anything actually change? Like and subscribe. Bye-bye.